Golf Central. Brought to you by Titleist.
14-time major champion and Blue Jack National course designer, Mr. Tiger Woods.
Feels good to be back out here. Be able to play golf with my buddy Mo. It's been a while, but to come out here and play golf again, I miss playing golf with him, miss playing practice rounds with him. So it was good to be back out here again.
On Monday, Tiger Woods played 5 full holes of golf with his friend Mo, otherwise known as Mark O'Meara, at the grand opening of Blue Jack National just outside of Houston. Of course, the Tiger did design. Tiger's saying that these are the first holes rather that he's played since the Wyndham Championship last August. That being said, thanks for joining us here on Golf Central. Todd Lewis, proud to be with Tripp Eisenhower. Tripp, we saw Tiger in action there playing some holes. What did you digest from all of that?
Hey, great to see. I mean, anytime we get to see Tiger Woods back on a golf course, when many of us thought we might not see him in 2016 at all. So back on a golf course, we do not know when he's going to be back playing again. And that'll be the ultimate transition, because it's great to play with your friends and play at home and all that stuff. But there's a huge chasm between that and actually teeing it up for real and the competition once the bell rings. So Tiger, great to see, and it looks like the back so far in that swing looked pretty healthy to me.
Yeah, we don't know when he's going to play though.
Correct.
And he has had multiple long layoffs in his career. As a matter of fact, this is not the longest layoff he's had in his career, but it's close. The longest coming after the 2008 U.S. Open, which he won. He had surgery on his knee, and he came back at the WGC Dell Match Play. And look at all these comebacks here. There's only 2 of them, but he came back pretty good. Played very, very well. We'll have to wait and see when he will return in 2016. He's not playing the Zurich Classic, but Jason Day is. After a week off, the #1 player in the world back in action. This will be the first #1 player competing in the Zurich Classic since David Duval in '99. Also teeing it up this week, the 5th-ranked player in the world, Ricky Fowler, fresh off of his spring break. He's looking to bounce back from a missed cut at the Masters. The defending champion, Justin Rose, he's back in NOLA. He's 60 under in this event since 2012, which is 13 better than any other player in that time frame. And of course, he won dramatically in 2015. That was his last victory. Let's go back in the time machine and check out how Justin Rose picked up the victory. We're going to start here with Rose. In the final round, tied for the lead at 20 under on the 17th.
Yeah, this is a 5-iron from 200 and some yards, and this was the hardest hole in the final round last year, and you can see why. That hole location, but not hard when you can hit it like that for Justin Rose. And here's the difference. When Justin Rose is doing this right here, making the putt, he was just the 6th player to put a 2 on his scorecard in that final round. But Todd, he needs one more, and this up and down impressed the heck out of me. I mean, Justin Rose has a very underrated pitching and chipping game. It has gotten markedly better over the years, and that's part of the reason why he's able to hit shots like that. And with a guy named Cameron Tringali back there, Justin Rose probably felt like he needed to bury this one just outside the right edge, and a great fist pump. I love that fist pump.
Up in the air.
Yeah.
There he goes. And he gets the beads and the kiss in New Orleans. And Justin Rose is definitely in contention, you think, this week heading into play, which starts on Thursday. And his playing competitors will be Billy Horschel and KJ Choi. And Billy Horschel is a former champion at the Zurich Classic as well. Of course, Rose's victory a year ago is his last on the PGA Tour, as I mentioned. However, Justin's game is far from being mediocre. In 8 starts this season, he has 4 top 10s. And for more on the 10th-ranked player in the world, we say hello to George Savaricas, who's now working hard in the Big Easy. Hi there, George.
Hey, Todd, you better believe it, buddy. And Justin Rose, having him being described as far from mediocre would be a pretty much severe understatement for what he's been able to do in recent years at TPC Louisiana. You mentioned that 60 under total he's put together in that span. He's had a win, 3 top 10s. In fact, his worst finish in the last 4 years has been a tie for 15th. So what is Rose's mindset going into this week as the defending champ, and why has his game been such a good fit at this layout?
I think it's just down to experience. I think Pete Dye is quite a tricky course designer. He has elements to the course that are designed to sort of maybe, the art of illusion in some ways. And I just think over the last 5 years I've begun to understand the golf course better and better. And you know, taken good notes through the years, and you know, obviously last year sort of all, you know, it sort of all came together and put me in the right spot. We like to play tournaments and venues. You know, you often build your schedule around places you've played well or where you have good memories. So quite clearly coming back to a venue where you've won, it can be an energizing feeling. I think one of the downsides is there's often a little bit more time required early in the week. So once you kind of square all that away, I think it's only positives. Great memories of great shots you've hit, and I think the only other thing is to curb the expectation. I mean, the golf course doesn't know that I won here last year, so I have to go and build a whole new body of work. So I kind of come into it with a fresh slate as well. You know, it's up to me to kind of you know, view 2016 obviously as a whole new challenge.
From #1 in the Big Easy a year ago to the current #1 in the world in Jason Day. The last we saw of him on the PGA Tour was at the RBC Heritage. He struggled on the weekend, had that disastrous 79 in the third round. Day took last week off, was back home in Columbus, Ohio, working on his game, and the two-time winner this season, he told us what being #1 in the world means to him and what drives him to be the best in the game.
I know mentally, deep down inside, that if I don't work, I'm going to play bad golf. And there's nothing worse in this world right now than me playing bad golf, and I hate it. I hate playing poor golf. I want to be in contention all the time, and I want to play and win golf tournaments. It's good to be #1. I know what I think of being 9 weeks now. I just want to get to 10, and then after that I want to get to 11, and after that I want to get to 12, and just so on and so on. It would be great. I know I traded text with Greg Norman, earlier this year, and you know, he said that he would love to see me pass him. I'm like, oh man, that's 330 something weeks at #1. I mean, that's a very dominant career in my mind, and if I have the opportunity to do that, I know that's going to take a lot of sacrifice and a lot of dedication to be able to do that. But it's great to be at the top of your game, at the top level, be #1, but more so be motivated than ever before to be able to try and extend that lead.
Just to give a little perspective, Greg Norman occupied that top spot in the world for a total of 331 weeks. So Jason Day is currently at 9 weeks total. He needs 323 weeks more to pass Greg Norman, a.k.a. he'd have to occupy #1 in the world until about July 2022 to be able to accomplish that. Day also mentioned that he's skipping this year's AT&T Byron Nelson, citing the hectic summer schedule. Remember, his first win on the PGA Tour came at the Nelson back in 2010. Todd.
George, thank you. Stay with us. Who does Tripp like this week, Day or Fowler? How about Lexi or Lewis on the LPGA Tour? He has to make a choice in our either-or segment. Plus, Jason Bone returns to the site of his last PGA Tour victory after a terrifying health scare earlier this year. Has his outlook changed? All that and much more coming up next on Golf Central.